Okay. Say your name and spell it.
Allison Williams, ALISONWILLIAMS.
Okay, and then just tell me how you feel about NIL deals, like, overall.
I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for just athletes in general, and it also just teaches people, I guess, who want to be professional athletes how to do that. Because I guess when they get into the professional realm of sports, they have to know how to do that so that they aren't being like cheated or anything.
Yeah. Okay, and then how do you feel about athletes having to report their deals?
Um, I think it can be beneficial in that college athletics then have like a record of who did what at what time, so then they also make connections for later athletes. But then I also think sometimes, um, not that it's pointless, but that sometimes it's difficult because there are some athletes who are going out and doing these things for themselves, and then there are others who are just kind of like riding on their backs. But
Yeah, okay, and then do you know anyone involved in NIL, and if so, how have you seen it affect them?
not specifically NIL, but like my brother is a collegiate rower up at Yale, and since he is not, since their sport is technically not part of NCAA, the way they have to go about things is different. So he's actually not a shareholder, but like invested in a company from like two former U.S. female Olympic rowers, and it's like a food company or something, and he kind of has to like buy stock out of it and then promote it as well. So it's kind of like twofold. So his name is attached to it, but then also his job is to go out and sell more of it.
Okay,
So
okay. And then how do you think this will continuously affect college athletics?
I think it'll make it more confusing, I think, in the end, or just in the long run, just because it's constantly changing, and then these high school athletes who are coming up into like the college level, they don't know what's going on because they've not been trained for it. And then by the time they're trained for it, it could possibly be too late for them to do anything.
Yeah. Okay, and then what is your favorite part about being NIL?
Um, I think just that brands are using athletes in a different way, because so many athletes are able to reach so many like different people, like especially the younger generation. Um, and I think it was kind of silly that these big huge brands haven't been using younger college athletes who are more connected to their community before this.
Yeah. And then what is your least favorite part about the NIL?
I think my least favorite part is that there's so many politics surrounding it, because it's making sports more of this, I don't know, political war field, I guess, than just like talking about the specific sport, or just focusing in on an athlete and like their success.
Yeah. Okay. And then if you were a college athlete, what brand would you want to partner with?
Um, if I was a college athlete, I think I would want to partner with maybe ASICS.
Okay.
Just
Why?
I think I would do that because it's not like this big, huge company like Nike or something, but it's still like shoes and it's related to sports. And I think there would be more opportunity to create my own image within it.
Okay. And then tell me your thoughts on brands using athletes' images on their products.
Like superimposing them on products.
So it's kind of like you see a billboard and it's like body armor, but it has like Quest Glover on it. How do you like?
I think that's kind of strange, like for products like body armor or like shoes or something. But I think like t-shirts and things, it's kind of cool because that's, I don't know, it's kind of going back to like those 80s concert vibes that some people like love. But other than that, I think it might be a little weird. It's like the milk carton thing. But
And then just tell me your thoughts on them using the names on their products. Do you think that's more effective than using an image?
I think if an athlete has a like unique and identifiable name or signature, I think it's interesting. Like Taylor Swift, her like big, huge like signature is really identifiable and everyone knows it's hers just by the name. So I think if they have that background, it's beneficial. But if not, I think it's kind of strange because people are just like, who is that?
Yeah. And then what's your favorite NIL deal you've seen so far?
I don't even know. I feel like I'm just so, not ignorant of it, but like so used to it that I don't really do anything. I guess like one of the biggest ones that I remember first seeing is like the Duke player who blew up like the Nike shoe or something. I don't even think that was a deal, but it was like everybody got mad because they're like, Duke is no longer going to be using Nikes for their basketball shoes, and I was like, okay, but like specifically, I have no clue.
Yeah. Okay. And then, how do you think this affects women's sports now?
I think it makes it more difficult for female athletes because it's adding something else for them to do when there's already so much, not pressure, but so many, I guess, like, requirements of them just to get their name out there themselves, and especially with college athletics, like athletic programs who have huge basketball or football programs, just because it's just another layer, like, not blocking them, but like hindering them.
Yeah.
So.
And then, how do you think this affects schools competing with Power 5 schools for recruits, like a Sanford competing with like Alabama?
I think it's changed the game because I feel like a lot of college athletes, it's then between, do I want to be associated with this name or do I want my name to be out there? And I feel like a lot of them have chosen to put their name out there, and they're going to these smaller schools, and it's completely changing the game. Like, we've seen that just within the first few weeks of college football. Like Alabama and Auburn are just like starting to fall a little bit, and these like smaller schools are coming out of nowhere and like either not necessarily beating them, but like making it tougher for them, like more than they expected.
Yeah. And then, what sport do you think gets the most NIL deals, like across the country, not just in the South?
Across the country? I don't know if this is just like what I've seen, but I think track and field across the country actually gets a lot more. Like, they may be smaller, but they definitely do. And I think a lot of that has to do with how popular track and field is, like with the Olympics, and then like that kind of trickling down.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and then what sport do you think should get the most NIL deals?
I think baseball and softball, because they have more opportunity, like gear wise. I feel like that most people don't really like think of, but
Yeah. Okay, and then my last question is, what was your initial response to learning about NIL?
I think just confusion, because I had known already that there was like this opportunity for athletes to, I guess, get money, but then when it went to like the national level, it kind of just became this big mess and nobody knew what was going on. But then like once it passed, colleges were like, we're gonna do this, and like it just, I think it just changed the world of college athletics, and not many people realize that until later.
Yeah.
But
All right, I'm done. Thank you.